Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. 2A views, conservative news, and Craig, it's day 4 of the hostage situation all over again.
Yes, and I believe we refer to this as Throat Punch Thursday.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Who's ready?
It's Throat Punch Thursday, bitch.
Love it. And the makeup looks great. You can barely even tell that's us.
I know, wow. It's like, real perfect expert makeup.
It is. It's really good stuff. Good stuff there. I was surprised I could still get my silkies on, so that's nice.
I got to tell you, we looked long and hard to try and find the right video to use or something, music or something to use for Throat Punch Thursday. I think that'll work for now until they hit us with the copyright infringement stuff.
That's it. So we're down to just Monday without a piece of intro, so we're good.
And I got to tell you, the stuff that I have found from Monday Fun Day Gun Day has been less than inspiring, which surprised me. I thought Throat Punch Thursday would be harder.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of just sick people out there, so we got the Throat Punch Thursday. I'm telling you, we got to get with maybe we get with Charlie Cook, have him play a little something on the trumpet for us.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that thing out. But in any case, we're doing good right now, so we're gonna have a good old time. How is the hostage situation treating you so far?
I'm stuck at work. I'm here at Lion Arms, hanging out with the guys here. We're putting together some high-speed bullet launchers, and having a good day so far.
High-speed bullet launchers, I like that.
Yep.
That's how we will. Although bullet does catch, the algorithms do catch by the word bullet. So unfortunately,
bullet bourbon
catchers,
bullet bourbon launchers. You might be a catcher, a launcher. Yeah.
I'm a bullet bourbon catcher.
You're a catcher. I'm a launcher. Let's just leave it at that.
That's all bad. That is just all bad.
Yep. We're just gonna move on.
We're just gonna move on from there. We're gonna move on to a shout out for our sponsors.
That's right. First, we're going to thank our good friends over here at Lion Arms. That's lionarmsusa.com. I always get that one confused. lionarmsusa.com. You reach out to those guys, give them a call, tell them you saw us here on the Rundown. They're going to give you a nice little discount for hanging out with us today. Hitman Industries, that's hitmanindustries.net. You got yourself an AR in the past 5 years. Odds are you got one of their barrels and don't even know it. Well, now you can buy from them factory direct. So make sure you check them out at hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Make sure you check out the 6th congressional district race there in California as well. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, check out Hog Holsters. That's HAWGholsters.com. Hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all one word. No all caps. Get a discount from them. And if you want to get all tactical, whether you're going indoors, outdoors, maybe you're just going hunting, fishing, camping, whatever it is, you can get everything but done from our friends at uscombatgear.com.
Folks, these are all honorable Americans who are seeking to, protect our God-given rights just like you. So do us a favor, do them a favor, do yourself a favor. Go check them out. The links to all of their websites are in the description to this program, which I believe is right down there. So go check them out. If you like what you see, and I pretty much know that you will, spend some money with them and make sure you tell them it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. Also, want to encourage you folks, look, this is a live program, which means that we're watching. I'm over here, and not only am I pushing the buttons behind the scenes, I'm also paying attention to your comments, whether you're watching us on Rumble or you're watching us on Facebook or Twitter, however you're watching us, I'm monitoring those comments. So go ahead, let us know what you think. If you got something to say, it sounds like a good idea. You know what? I'll go ahead and I'll let the folks know. Let the rest of the audience know about your comments. So go ahead and make sure you comment. Also, make sure if you haven't already done so, however you are partaking of the program, if you haven't already liked it and you haven't already shared it with your friends, do it right now. Well, we're trying to grow our audience, and we're on multiple channels across multiple different platforms. We don't care how you partake. We just care that you partake and that you encourage your friends to do the same.
Yep, absolutely. Listen, if you watch us on Facebook and you're signed up for the live alerts, go back in and make sure your live alerts are still signed up. We got a lot of complaints this week that Facebook turned those off on everybody. So go back in and double click that and make sure you're watching and getting your live alerts.
You know what? I will tell you who is the best at alerts, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's Rumble. Rumble does a phenomenal job of letting people know when it goes live. Also, if you just want to listen, Spotify and Apple Podcasts also do excellent jobs of updating you whenever there's a new podcast. Now, the problem with those two is you won't get us live. So just so you know, you'll be getting it after the program. So, participating in the live chat ain't going to be your thing. But once again, those are two of the best ways, quite frankly, to subscribe. And then also, there's our good friends over at OpsLens. If you want to watch it live on your TV, download the OpsLens apps. There's tons of great program in there. Pro-America, Pro-Second Amendment, Pro-2A programs over there. Lots of our friends that many of you know.
Good stuff right there.
All right. Now, getting into our first story. This incident actually did not get a whole lot of mainstream press, which is really kind of disappointing. But now the charges have been filed in this particular case. Hopefully, maybe now we'll actually start to hear some. We'll actually start to see some news on this. There was an individual. Well, I'll read the article to you. It says here, California professor arrested on manslaughter charges in pro-Israel demonstrator's death. Now, let me hype it to the details. It says Eloy Anal. Oh God, why do I always get these crazy names? No, they're not crazy. I got these names that are hard to pronounce. Can you pronounce that name, Mike?
Loy Al-Nahi.
There you go. God, he's good. You are good, Mike. I just give you credit for that. Loy Al-Nahi, a computer science professor at Ventura County Community College, was arrested Thursday morning and charged with involuntary manslaughter after he was involved in a deadly confrontation with pro-Israel demonstrator Paul Kessler. See, now that's a name. That's a name that's easy to remember. Okay, or easy to say. In early November, which is basically a couple of weeks ago, Kessler died of his wounds following a physical altercation with counter-protesters in Los Angeles. The Ventura County Sheriff's Department said in a statement afterwards. During the altercation, Kessler fell backward and struck his head on the ground. The Ventura County Medical Examiner's Office determined the cause of death was blunt force head injury and the manner of death homicide, the statement continued. At the time of the incident, an unnamed suspect, since identified as Al-Nahi, was detained by police as law enforcement conducted a home search before releasing the suspect on his own accord. Ventura County Sheriff Jim Freihoff told reporters shortly after that Al-Nahi was cooperative with authorities, though police refrained from publicly disclosing his name until a more thorough investigation was conducted. Now, what they're not saying, Mike, is what happened here is the guy struck the pro-Israeli demonstrator, Mr. Kessler. He struck him with his bullhorn. That's how dude hit the ground. So he hit the guy hit the ground, hit his head. Probably a much, anyway, hit the back of his head, and that's what caused his death. And what's sad is most of the media that's reported on this, all they're reporting is that, the guy fell during a demonstration. It wasn't that it was a pro-Hamas protester that actually attacked him, hit him over the head, and caused him to die.
Yeah, and because they want to hide the truth, right? They want to soften this because the Hamas is the victim, the Gazans are the victim, the Palestinians are the victims, according to the news media. This is what we're going to see over and over again. They're going to continue to try and change the narrative on you and make Israel appear to be, the guilty party here. Here you got a college professor, outside exercising a constitutional right. Upon comes a Hamas sympathizer or maybe Hamas himself and commits a terrorist act and kills this professor.
And now, I'm mad at myself because I didn't think to download it or anything, but there's actually video of the incident. So if you think that I am not telling the truth, or if you think that I'm exaggerating, there's actually video of the situation, of the event that happened. And like you said, Mike, the problem is that they can't make anyone who is on the pro-Hamas side, the media will not allow them to look bad, right?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. We don't get to see the videos from Israel. I mean, now you go do your own research. You can see it. You can see all these innocent Gazans standing in the street as they pull bodies down the street and throw rocks and spit on them. All these innocent women and children that are there, Craig, but they're actively taking part in the killing of innocent people there in Israel.
Which, by the way, just to be clear, most of that video, it's not sent to you by the IDF. It's not the Israeli Defense Forces that are sending it. It's Hamas who's posting it. They are posting these celebrations. They're posting all this stuff themselves because, once again, it's not just about the commission of the acts. It's about celebrating and honoring the acts of what they did, which is why I think those people who are defending them are almost as horrid and disgraceful as the people who actually committed the acts.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, they filmed the acts. Hamas, like you said, filmed the acts because they want the rest of the Muslim world to see that, to join the jihad. As motivation, fundraising, whatever their purpose is, it's so the rest of the Muslim world can view it as well.
Yep. Look, you can do it too. We did it. Yep. You can do it too. That's kind of what they're trying to say.
Yep.
Disgraceful. Absolutely, positively disgraceful. I hope that they throw this. And by the way, just a whole nother thing. This guy's a college professor. He's a community college professor, but he's a college professor. And I will guarantee you right now, he is not the only one in academia that would engage. First of all, that we already know that plenty of them were out protesting, along with the pro-Hamas demonstrators. But I'm sure that there are some who would be more than willing to engage in violence against people who would oppose them. In this case, people who either are Jewish or support Israel.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Now, Craig, you guys don't have the death penalty there in California, do you?
No. We do, but we just don't enforce it.
Oh, okay. So we'd have to have a Republican victory in your House there and your state Senate before we could see Al-Nahi get his wish of going to meet 72 virgins.
Exactly. Okay, moving right along to our next story. Let's see here. Charges in DEI policy has been ruled unconstitutional. All right, this is another actually California story. Let me share this story here with you. So basically, there was the California community college system decided that they're going to require all of their professors to sign this statement that they will include in all of their coursework and in their classwork and the statements that they make, this pro DEI philosophy statements, all of this stuff. And some college professors were like, no, because I don't believe in this stuff. A lot of this stuff and when I say that, it's not that they don't believe in diversity, it's not that they don't believe in equity or even inclusion. It's that the stuff that's included in it is flat out racist. It is, if you are black, you are oppressed. If you are white, you are an oppressor. You are racist if you are white, no matter what you think. It's all a bunch of BS. So it's not, don't take the words individually for what they mean individually. Understand the concept of DEI and anti-racism. The whole concept of the things they say is not what it sounds like. Anyway, so it was deemed unconstitutional by a federal judge. And here's the story, and I'll give you a little bit more details about it.
Jim, this decision by Judge Christopher Baker could be the first step toward overturning statewide rules on DEI policies at California community colleges. Monday's decision stems from a lawsuit filed in June by Damon Johnson, a Bakersfield College history professor and leader of a conservative campus group called the Renegade Institute for Liberty. The decision is only a recommendation, but addresses new community college campus rules on DEI policies. Johnson alleges in his suit that college administrators villainized the group for its views, including the firing of former professor Matthew Garrett in April. According to Johnson's lawyer, Alan Gura, that sparked fear in Johnson.
Professor Garrett was definitely abused by the school, had his First Amendment rights violated, and now other faculty are looking around, they're looking at each other saying, whoa, I could be next. And so we're definitely referencing the past bad behavior.
However, California Community College's Chancellor, Sonia Christian, said the regulations do not restrict speech, but rather express the board's own principles regarding diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. Yet in Judge Christopher Baker's decision, he wrote, California's goal of securing equal educational opportunities for nearly 2 million community college students is unquestionably appropriate and in many respects required by law, also stating, however, California's goal of promoting diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in public universities does not give it the authority to invalidate protected expressions of speech. A victory, according to Gura.
It's a very important step in the first direction to have a federal judge recognize Professor Johnson's right to teach, to speak, to associate with other people, and to express himself and share his views with others, to teach others and to learn from them.
So what's interesting from this, Mike, once again, what it comes down to is forced speech. In other words, they want him to include stuff. I mean, used to be, the universities was a place where you were supposed to have controversial discussions and expressions and yada, yada, yada. But what they included and what the professor refused, what the chancellor refuses to acknowledge, is that in there they required them to include this stuff. Otherwise, they would get fired. And they already, and once again, as cited in the story, there's already an example of one professor who stood up against it and lost his job as a result.
Yeah. So if I'm reading the judge's ruling correctly, Craig, he's not striking down the existence of DEI in the university policy. He's simply stating that you cannot force the professors to reiterate it for you, and you cannot force them to speak against it. So that's a huge First Amendment win right there. By the way, from attorney Alan Gora, who's also a champion of Second Amendment rights in the courtroom.
Yeah, I thought you would definitely get a kick out of that one. I was surprised when I saw that he was commenting as well.
He is a civil rights advocate, the same as you and I, sir.
Well, and it's funny. I did an interview with Red State, and that's what I was telling him. I was like, "Look, this. I started doing this because I'm an advocate for civil rights. I got into guns relatively late in life, but I really got into guns once I realized how much that civil right was being infringed upon by the state of California. Real quick here, we got a comment. We have James Russell, who's watching over there in North Carolina. He says, been watching and listening here from North Carolina, so he wanted to make sure to say hello, and he's watching on Facebook over there at OpsLens. So,
love all our
James,
friends.
thank you so much for tuning in.
Yep, love all our friends in North Kakalaki. It's a great. I'll be up there this weekend.
Unfortunately, I made the mistake once again over on Rumble of sending it to my personal Rumble page instead of the Rumble. I mean the rundown page. So if y'all are watching this and it's later on whatchamacallit on Rumble, just know I uploaded it instead of live. So just so you know.
There you go. I was gonna say you're late to firearms because you're in California, because you didn't know about their existence there in California, their vast presence everywhere else in the country that's not a blue state. And the first time I can still remember the times you came east doing some work with FPC and the other organizations you represented. It was like shocking. I remember you came to Florida and you said, "Man, I wish I could carry a gun here." And I went, "Well, here you go."
Here you go. Just hand me. I'm like,
There's like 8 felonies.
Like, what kind of felony is it? What is this witchcraft you are practicing?
Good stuff.
He's like, I'm like, you do know I'm a brother from California, right? You know they just lock us up for looking at guns, right?
Yeah, if I do recall, it was like, "Oh, I'm not." You said, "I'm not sure you're going to have the kind of gun I usually carry." Well, I definitely don't have anything with a 10-round magazine. That's for sure. But I think I opened up the briefcase and was like, "What do you have? You want a 19, 17? You want 36? You're going to 30 here. 1911."
Good stuff. But yeah, it's good to see that once again that the courts. And by the way, folks, just once again, I'll just go back to the folks. For those of you, and once again, if you watch this program, you know I've had my issues with President Trump, but there are a lot of good things that he did. And once again, Trump appointed judge. Just saying. He has reformed the judiciary in order to make sure that we have people who are real constitutionalists actually engaged in the cases.
Absolutely right. It's he's done more for Second Amendment rights than any president's done in the last half a century.
Yeah. I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it. I just so folks know. I just want to be very, very clear.
You hate to agree with me. That's what it is.
Yeah, I do. I really do hate to agree with you. I hate to agree with you. I hate to say it, but I hate to agree with you. I especially hate to say that I agree with you.
Especially on Trump-related things. I know how it is.
Good stuff. All right, on to our next item. Now, this is now being reported as news, but I really don't see this as news. It seems kind of obvious. But this time it's actually coming from folks who, well, it's not on the right. And according to this story, it says Green Agenda driving inflation, and hurting economic growth, admits central banker. It says leftist Green Agenda policies are driving up inflation, raising the cost of consumer goods, and depressing economic production, a top policy advisor to the Bank of England has admitted. Net zero agenda items pushed by the so-called Conservative Party in the UK, such as taxes on carbon and emissions trading schemes, are increasing inflation and worsening the wallet crunch for Britons as companies pass along the costs on to average consumers. Catherine Mann, a member of the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee, has acknowledged. In comments reported by The Telegraph from an address delivered at Oxford University, Mann said that economists have concluded that green carbon taxes, public investments, and subsidies are all inflationary. And I'm just like, all I can say is, duh.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Craig, I've actually decided it's time to start looking, I think, for another vehicle, another truck. and I've always had black or gray, dark gray. My next one's going to be a green truck, probably like an olive drab green, just so I could tell everybody I drive a green vehicle. I'm going to do it. Commit to it. I'm going to park in green parking spaces only. I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do it everywhere.
Well, I tell everybody all the time because I actually do drive a green vehicle. It's lime green, and it's a Prius.
Man, you are from California.
Well, you know, I'll be honest. So I bought the car. I bought the car for my daughter, and then right around the time she had our first grandchild, she wanted a bigger car, and we already had the car. It was already paid off. Rather than go buy a new one, we're like, okay, well, yeah, I'll take it off your hands. And then gas prices shot up, and I was like, 52 miles to the gallon? Okay.
Not bad. You know that the Priuses are actually on the upcoming ban list from President Biden because they use fossil fuels, even though it's a hybrid. Hybrids are not on his list. He wants all e-vehicles only.
And that, by the way, is stupid because first of all, where does most electricity come from? Fossil fuels.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely right. Absolutely. It's
and
crazy.
you know, like I said, they're not going to be electric vehicles are not going to be able to work until they can find a way to deal with the distance. The distance on most of them, on the affordable ones, the distance on the affordable ones is just not where they need to be. I mean, imagine taking a trip from one end of the state to the other and having to stop 2 or 3 times for an hour at a time.
And that's the issue, right? It's yeah. Listen, they go 200 maybe miles, 250. You put a load on them and they go more. If the temperature changes, they go less. The problem is I could do that in my truck. My truck will get me 300-400 miles to a tank full, right? But it takes me 5 minutes to refuel it. The moment you could pull an e-vehicle into a gas station and they swap the battery out in 5 minutes, they'll become popular. Otherwise, you're right. I don't want to go sit somewhere and hope when I get there the charging station works and then wait an hour.
Well, you know, they do have because my son has one, they have the electric hybrids, right? That run electric, you charge them, but they also use fossil fuel. And when you run out of charge, it goes over to the gas. And he owned it for like a month before he ever had to put gas in it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
And he was driving to and from work every day. I mean, those are the ones that actually make sense. Now, the challenge is going to be, where are we going to get all the materials for all of those batteries? Because right now, if I understand it correctly, China has the main line on just about all of those materials. I believe we have them here, but I also believe that mining them and it's very difficult to be eco-friendly and mining that stuff.
Yeah, well, we're struggling to try and figure out where to get them from. In China and in Africa, they'll be exploiting people there to dig in the mines for a nickel a day.
Pretty much, that's how it works. That's exactly how it works.
Yep.
But I digress. Moving right along, woman refuses to fight a trans boxer. Now, we've already seen in non-contact sports the dangers that women can be in. We saw there was the high school volleyball player who had a ball spiked into her face and suffered traumatic brain injury that she's still dealing with months, if not, I think almost a year later. Then there was the just not too long ago, maybe a few weeks ago, the field hockey player who got hit in the face by a I guess a ball or a puck, whatever they use in field hockey. There was the whole Fox Fallon, whatever her name was, who was the mixed martial artist. He was fighting. At first, not even telling people that they were used to be a man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and don't forget the male swimmer that competed with the female swimmers, and him trying to smuggle his goods inside that female bathing suit hurt a lot of eyes of people there.
Okay, hurt a lot of people's eyes. Yeah, I remember that individual, Leah Thomas. Anyway,
yeah,
the point being, these are cases though when I'm talking about where female athletes have actually gotten injured. I mean, really hurt, engaging in sports with biological males. And in this one, you have a female boxer who refused to fight trans opponent, and this is in a Canadian championship match. It says here, a female boxer in Quebec withdrew from a provincial boxing championship last month after being told without notice that she would have to fight a male-born transgender opponent. Boxer Katia Bissonnette of, Saguenay?
There you go.
Oh, hey, I got one right. Refused to step into the ring with transgender opponent Maya Walmsley during the 2023 Provincial Golden Gloves Championship, which took place October 27th through 29th, according to Redix. The event, hosted in Victoriaville, Quebec, by the Quebec Boxing Federation and the KO96 Boxing Club, was held to give novice fighters a shot at qualifying for the Canadian Championship in December. But when Bissonnette was told of her match, she says she was unaware that she was to face a male fighter until an hour before the fight. Now, imagine that. Imagine, Mike, your daughter, she's into boxing or she's into wrestling, and all of a sudden you find out she's about to go up against a biological male. Now, I'm sorry, I just have major problems with this. Especially, now if you will, let me clarify. If you're okay with it, then that's on you. But if you're not okay with it, to not even get notice?
Yeah, there's some trickery there, right, on the Canadian Provincial Boxing Association or whatever it was. Listen, I would. I'll let the woman make her own decision, but make sure you point out the fact that that's a man you're fighting, whether it's the same weight class or not. I don't know. Perhaps you'd like to take a bat into the ring with you and even the odds.
Well, and that's the thing they film, especially if you're talking about a male who went through puberty. If you went through puberty, in other words, you didn't use the hormone blockers or anything like that, and by the way, you're not still on the hormone blockers or the puberty blockers. The point is that bone density, muscle mass, all of that is now in your favor. And you don't just take that doesn't just disappear. That doesn't just go away just because you decide to change your name to a female name.
Nope. Physics is physics. They ain't going to change.
One would think, but unfortunately that does not appear to be the case. It is beyond frustrating, Mike. I just don't get it. I mean, even if you are into, once again, the whole, transgenderism, even if you're into it, how do you justify males competing in women's sports? Number one, because of the physical advantage. Number two, because in cases like this, that physical advantage creates a clear and present danger for the female athlete.
It absolutely does, Craig. There's like you said, the risk of, incredible injury, this woman having to fight a man. But evidently this woman, she does not trust the science, Craig.
Evidently not. Okay, well, folks, that brings us to our parting shots, brought to you by Hog Holsters. Check them out at hogholster.com. And for some reason, my image now is frozen. I guess I'll have to figure that thing out. But just go to hogholsters.com. Use discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Get your Hog Holster today. All right, our first image will be brought to you by, you may recall that Xi, the president, what do they call him? The president, the chairman, the chief thug, the dictator is what he really is. There in China is visiting not just these United States, but he's actually visiting San Francisco, California. Interestingly enough. And, let's just say that he's sucking up a bit, shall we say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at that. Yep. Yeah, you got the chairman's nice military boot with the flag of China there, and old Governor Mussolini licking it up. Look at who's that underneath them there, Craig?
Oh, those are the Uyghurs.
Who are the Uyghurs?
Who are the Uyghurs? They're basically the religious minority or the slaves there in China. That are having their women raped and killed. That are basically being forced to work for close to nothing. All because they are religious minorities.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I was thinking a group in San Francisco. Couldn't place it.
Oh, no. Okay, and here's a little alone time between between Gavin Mussolini and Chairman Xi.
That's a lime green truck, Craig. Isn't that?
It's yellow. It's
all
yellow.
right. Okay. All right.
Or with Xi in it, it's red.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's all part of this plan, right?
Yeah.
For those of you who are actually just listening to the program, it's Gavin Newsom is giving President Biden a call, and he's wearing his Newsom 2024 maybe button, and he says, "Just checking in." And you got President Biden saying, "You again? Yes, I'm feeling fine. Now quit asking me."
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh, yes, it is very nice. It is very nice. All right, wait, folks, that's going to be about it. Let me check and see if we have any comments. No comments there. No comments there. And, well, I guess it's about time for us to go ahead and do our final shout out to our sponsors.
That's it. And thanks again today for our host here at Lion Arms USA. Check them out at the gram at Lion Arms USA. Lion_arms. There you go. Lion_arms. There you go. I got my producer right here next to me. Or go to the website. It's lionarmsusa.com. And let's say thank you again to our folks from Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. You can get rifle and pistol caliber barrels in any length you need for your next AR rifle or pistol build. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Make sure you check out that California 6th congressional race. And of course, if you're going to get all tactical, whether it's indoors, outdoors, hunting, fishing, camping, no matter what you're going to do, you can get everything but the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit their websites, links in the description to this program. Visit them and make sure you tell them the guys over at the Rundown sent you. And with that, we got another show in the can. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We will be back tomorrow. Thank God it will be Friday.
Friday.